felt perfect. This hand, I always think, and you didn't do it all the time, it happened every once in a while. Sometimes, and just keep, yes, yeah. And I noticed it happen for ladies most times, we call it the shit mode.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening.
Yeah, it's like, oh shit. Yeah, exactly. And it happens to everybody. I mean, guys do the same thing. Sometimes we get a little freaked out, and all of a sudden we tend to tense up. Good thing is, like I said, I didn't really even feel it that much from there. Every once in a while I did. I actually felt more with this one. That sometimes, like the connection, instead of I'm going to over-exaggerate it, instead of the connection feeling more there, it's like I would do something a little different, and all of a sudden the palm would almost like give up, and all of a sudden you would start doing this. So we could be like, for example, so we started like in this position, and then at one moment I was like this.
Danielle was saying the same thing.
It caves in, and that's just the hardest thing. And sometimes, and we're going to over-exaggerate it, it's like our kind of belief sometimes in the teaching, sometimes we have to go to the extreme
to fix it.
And then we say, okay, now start back off a little bit. So what do you know that is this hand right now, I'm going to give you more than usual. So I'm going to give you that much. Notice you're having to really, so the goal is don't give that up. There you go, give it up. Yes. So no matter what you feel, and I'm going to do really a lot of comments. Just really think that arm doesn't cave in. Yeah, you feel it a little bit? There's caving. That's a little different. And notice how, in a way, your balance tends to be, or not just but as a couple, our balance is better. Yeah, do you feel the difference?
We're going to try to do it later.
Yeah, and now I'll tell you this, the hard thing about that, and we get, especially when we travel and teach around, there's something, that's too much. You know what I'm saying? And we're not telling you to go. Really, what we're saying, we want the connection. Yes, and it's like anything else. If we start like this, we want to try to respect that angle. If we happen to start like this, I'm okay with it. That just means that we have to respect that angle. So that will depend on when you embrace the guy, like, that's his comfortable or my comfortable zone type thing. So the hard thing is just, and it happens usually, but I felt that what usually happens is, for example, usually when we go this way, whenever you go this way, what happens sometimes, if you try to over-rotate this more than I want you to rotate it, the only way you can go to rotate is to let it collapse. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of like...
so I'll follow you better if I don't do it.
Yeah, I mean, it's almost like, the best example for them was like, let's say I do this, right? And let's say, you go ahead and do a side step. The only way you're going to be able to is if you... So that when we were dancing, there was a couple of times that you collapsed. What I felt wasn't because you were just collapsing.
Because I wanted to go somewhere.
And now you know if I go, yes. So in a way, that helps me to stop you. So notice that I'm going to roll. Right now, you probably don't feel it that much. It's very relaxed. But I may use it, especially when I want to slow something in the night. So if you really think of kind of respecting that angle, it'll keep you from probably getting hit a little bit in certain spots. That felt really good. You notice that difference? And you stopped right with me. And I didn't even really do much more. You just said, that's as far as he led me. So that was the general thing. And again, take this with a grain of salt. Some people give you more.
Well, like the way
or like, no tango. We did it for like, we did it for like 2 years. And they're like this.
Yeah.
And a lot of it is like, so sometimes it's, and the only thing, and again, we did it for about 2 years and we learned a lot, but the only thing we noticed, it almost goes more on visual. It's almost like you have to look to see what he wants as opposed to, we're a big fan of, aside. We don't want it personally.
Well, but it was stealing. I worked with Tomas for a
Okay,
month.
yes.
And so there's a lot of, he would practice like the chicha things of not touching at all, to just watch.
To watch.
Which I liked that.
Yes.
But then going back into more traditional, it's...
You always felt a little more. And we were just big fans of just, let's embrace.
Okay.
You know, I was kind of thinking, that doesn't mean that we have to like, but just let's feel, that way, the way we think about it is like the less I can make you think about what does he want, and just let you feel it, it's easier just for me too, because I know exactly where you're going. Because you know where you're going. If you have doubts, then I start having like, oh crap, where's she going? So that was the main thing that I noticed when we were dancing. And then probably some other things were just maybe combinations that you're like, ooh, I wasn't sure what you wanted there. And one of those you said like, oh sorry. throwing that. So we're gonna, I'm gonna just kind of start a little just throwing